she
I was
likes
telling him what your truck, what we had.
photographs and
was.
things like that, so she enjoyed my show because,
Kind of
Yeah.
wheels that it had on it. I said, well, I don't know.
She's young.
But it's-
she runs like
He
she
said,
told she
well,
had the time
depends
flexibility,
on
she come
what type of
this
split
time
rims.
for the meetings.
If they're what they call
Yeah,
weather
always one of the
makers, he
questions
said
I
it's
ask
illegal
her.
to work on those
Hopefully she
anymore.
comes
Right,
in.
we won't
Yeah, I
touch
hope
them.
she would too, yeah.
Well, they ended up sending somebody over to Mount Truck. We looked at it. and
What
said,
have we here?
We'll work on it every year. Apparently, these are split rims.
Yeah.
but
Are
they're
you
only
Brian Meyer
three-piece
today, or?
Yeah.
Right.
So what is it?
What would happen with the
Tori?
three-piece is
I
that
haven't
when-
watched it
if
before,
you're
so-
working on
Are
a
you
on
road,
staff
the
now,
other
or-
one
Yeah, I
flies
started
out.
in January.
Okay.
And
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
they're
but I
actually, no
volunteered
kill.
for the town
Yeah,
for
no, they
like
won't
5
mess, yeah,
years, so.
they won't mess.
You know us, and you
Pretty
still wanted to
familiar.
work here?
Yeah.
That's saying something.
You volunteered, is that what you said?
She did volunteer in the past. She's now one of us.
And then she got hired.
Are you guys ready for your bike race?
Yeah, I guess.
Are we coming through your,
No,
not coming through?
no, they told us they didn't want to do that
No
anymore.
problem then this year, huh?
So,
For you guys, I mean.
no, they said they didn't want to do it anymore. I said, okay.
It makes it easier for you, I
Oh,
guess.
yeah, I don't have to get out of bed at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Well, that's good for you.
Morning, good morning.
Hey, look at this, toys.
Yeah,
Wanna play?
Yeah.
good morning.
Morning.
I should bring my Lionel training.
Good morning.
I had heard a rumor, and I don't know if it had anything to do with it, the last ones in the door brought the donuts. Oh, yeah, that's right. Pay for the donuts. Karen's gonna be the last one,
I
yeah.
don't see the secretary.
Hi.
She's helping take care of the neighbor's dogs next door, and Karen Rossi, so. I think was gonna go over and check out and make sure, because two of them are in front of us.
So did we figure out what kind of
No,
gas might
missed
have
the
for the
house.
Falcons?
We just need some money, Joe.
Actually, she
Big
needs
money.
to
I
make
think
sure
they're-
that there's
I think that's gonna be positively received.
Oh, I think so too.
Maureen has asked for a cup of coffee, so I have to go figure out how to work it.
You want me to go with you?
Yes,
You see him,
thank
that's
you.
probably not.
I think you showed me last time, but I take more than
All you
one
know the
lesson.
other day, and he got this.
Okay.
Now, that state sets a 4,500, doesn't it?
16 tires.
Yeah.
Chevy. Tire outfit coming to Bob's.
I haven't looked at that yet, so.
And all this right here too.
Morning.
So.
Morning.
Morning, David. Some breaks.
Morning, Bucks.
Yeah.
Morning, Larry.
And Wally give an update on,
Breaks are always a good thing.
especially in the downhill run into the,
Either that or you have 3 or 4 people with really good shoes on there, and they'd be all on.
well, that'd be a drag.
Yeah.
Gets it running and for 4th of July?
It's already running,
Yeah, I know, so
so this,
have it for 4th of
that'd make it
July?
operational. Well, if they can do it by 4th of July, which,
Well, he told, when I was talking to Bob, he told me if the town, because I always make sure they understand that the town's making the decision.
Right.
He said if they let him know, the mechanic that he's gonna have work on this is gone starting next week on 2 weeks vacation. So he said that'll work out great, that'll give me a chance to order the parts, and they'll have them in by the time he gets back, and then they can start working on it.
Boy, I wonder, we meet on the 28th, that's, or 26th, the day after Memorial Day. Is
yeah.
We can get that before the board.
Unless all of a sudden you guys have to
That's
have a huddle,
administrative decision-making, so-
unless you guys have to have a huddle and just do that before.
Yeah, well,
Well,
I don't know how we, actually, the town manager has the discretion for that one.
Yeah, and he's got one, I just gave him one of these this morning.
But it's,
Yeah,
I think he's got such a good body.
didn't realize it was late.
Just somebody.
Coming out of your dinner
Right when you're
with
doing
the board, there was a
gonna
good
be very
body
excited.
that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stall.
Yeah, he was excited about it the other day when I talked to him, so, but that's beyond my pay grade, so.
I'd like to see it.
Now Comcast.
That's what,
I don't know anything
Gail
about
was
it.
telling me, we didn't know it.
Oh, I think so, when you consider $1,600 for tires. And that includes them making the trip clear over, because they're on Highway 66 and I-25, tire company.
Was out.
And that's them coming over to Mountain Truck, and they'll pull the wheels off and put the tires on their Mountain Truck.
Oh, they'll do it right there.
Yeah, Because I told the guy when I talked to him, I said, when you do me an estimate on those tires, I said, I want you to include you guys coming over to Mountain Truck and doing it. He
Comcast
said,
yesterday.
okay.
Because I thought I'd done something.
So, okay.
And,
But I was surprised, apparently,
their system is.
apparently he got with Mountain Truck because when
by
Bob
phone,
sent
which
this
is my
estimate
landline, which is
yesterday,
theirs,
he
or
had the
internet,
tires and
which is
everything
theirs,
figured.
And that was all down. So then I called them on
Yeah.
my cell phone, that worked, except
Oh,
when
really?
they go through this thing of punch one.
Because when I
and
talked to
cell
the
phone,
tire
this
guy, he said,
cumbersome, you gotta
well,
get
what kind of
the
wheels
keyboard
do they have on? And I said,
Don't wanna
well,
lose the call while you're
I
doing
said,
it.
and I explained what we had, what year it was. And he said, well, if that has split rims on it, I said, well, it does. And he said, they're the ones they call
Then they-
widow
at that
makers.
time,
He said,
we
it's
told them,
illegal
I
for anybody to work on it. And he said, we won't touch it, then you'll have to get new
Ready
wheels.
by 2:30, 3 o'clock.
So they-
I was talking to Sam Barnes, he said, against the law.
Wasn't ready by the
Yeah.
time.
Karen, did you know your
They
husband
have
made a
two
deal,
pieces
you aren't
of
keeping it other?
More
rim.
like 10:30.
Apparently, three pieces, one, well, they're both.
He said, the last, when he came in here, he said, the last one in has to
So
bring
we
the
have two
donuts.
pieces, well, they sent somebody over to Mountain Truck to look at them.
That was
And they said, yeah, we'll work on it.
Oh, you're saying,
doesn't know about it either, I don't think.
All the systems with about.
you didn't tell Karen the last one in there to bring the donuts?
No, I didn't, I didn't.
You didn't tell me ahead, I might have done it.
House I grew up in.
I think we could delay the meeting for just a little
But
bit.
Larry just said, must be a great desire for
Hurricanes
donuts.
or even winter storms.
It does, every idea.
But he brought it up.
No, I don't. It was something. Whose
Whose is this?
Because
Next time
we had
we'll
no
bring
phone,
it.
no landline phone,
We had no landline, no internet.
no internet. The television was affected too.
Anything not writing.
Actually, I did.
People took the garage.
Yeah.
It was also affected.
He is available. He's available this morning. Well, he said, he didn't know if he would be, but I said, well, but I don't, maybe too late now.
Yes.
Upsetting us.
Yeah, maybe it'd be time now to drop.
That must have been somebody trouble.
It was mostly.
They didn't bring my gavel.
We have a lot of projects we're talking about.
Sorry.
Order in the court.
They didn't bring my gavel, so.
We'll get you one.
Well, good morning, oh, that's right, probably can, huh? Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our meeting for May. And so Brian is babysitting today. And so, Tori, you want to introduce yourself then to the group?
So I'm Tori. I just started with the town in January, and I'm the volunteer coordinator. So I actually have some stuff to update on from my realm of work. So.
Your realm. We want to go around and just introduce ourselves. I don't have my name tag. I'm Larry, the chair.
Bob Morgan.
Wally, just a member of the commission.
And I go by Walt, so you don't mix this up. I'm Walt Ackerman.
Yeah, he's a better looking one.
That's right.
Mary Cartwright.
Just Maureen Cowan. I'm David Cartwright.
I'm Gail, she just graduated.
Hey.
Do you register or do you still in?
So I just graduated last weekend, and then I moved to my parents' house yesterday. So I will be with my parents by DIA for a little while until I get a place. So hopefully want to move closer.
Terry, I'm Joe Sailing. I'm the town board liaison.
Karen Molagorski.
Secretary.
Where did you, what college did you graduate from?
I went to UNC, so University of North Colorado.
Yep.
Good college.
But you've been volunteering for a while here.
Yeah, so the first time I volunteered was Chili Fest 5 years ago.
All right.
Well, you got a lot of history there.
Yeah, so I'm pretty familiar with the town.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, we shall commence or begin, whichever happens first here. So we've got the roll taken care of, so Karen will do the minutities of last month's meeting.
Okay, meeting minutes to April 17th. The meeting was called to order by Chairperson Larry Dorsey. In attendance were Commission members Walt Ackerman, Mary Cartwright, Larry Dorsey, Vicky Kuffner, Bob Morgan, Jill Roberts, Errol Walagorski, and Karen Walagorski. Staff, Brian Meyer, and others, Catherine Barth, Maureen Hogue, Alan Jarrett, Gail Casana, Rusty Lenev, and Gerald Zancanelli. The minutes of the March 20th meeting were read. Wally moved they be approved. Mary Cartwright seconded the motion, and the motion carried. The treasurer's reports were given as follows. Bob Morgan reported that the Historical Commission account balance is $1,490.20, and that the fire truck account has a balance of $911. Brian reported that the balance in the Town of Superior Historic Preservation account is $2,739.55. Outstanding is the cost of 30 archive boxes. Old business. Debriefings were discussed as follows. There were a few visitors at the April 4th museum opening. Thanks to Joe Roberts for providing baked potatoes for lunch. The commission had a very worthwhile and productive joint work session with the town board of trustees on April 13th. Among the items discussed was restoration of the fire truck. The mayor indicated he would like to see the commission proceed with the diagnostics on the mechanical parts. Larry attended the Boulder Heritage Roundtable on April 16th. The Boulder Heritage Roundtable Award ceremony will be May 11th at 6:30 at the Chautauqua Community House. Bob Morgan is to receive a Square Nail Award. Number 2, the work of the Filing and Cataloging Committee is progressing to the main floor items, and pictures are being added. Number 3, Rusty Lenev, retired from the Longmont Fire Department, was present in our meeting to speak on the restoration of fire trucks, of which he has a great deal of experience. He provided valuable information and recommendations to the commission on the restoration of our fire truck. We greatly appreciate his expertise on the matter. The next step in the fire truck restoration is to have Mountain Truck come transport the truck up to their facility in Longmont and proceed with the diagnostics on the mechanical parts. Number 5, Jill Roberts is planning to add pictures to be supplied by the town staff to the oral history video project. Mary and Alan are also working on the project. Number 6, Maureen is continuing to work on the Superior History in Wikipedia project. Number 7, the spring education program will be April 23rd at 7 p.m. in the town hall. Larry will be speaking on railroad history in Boulder County. Members should come at 6:20 to get the room ready. Number 8, the annual historic walk through Superior and the industrial mine site will take place on May 2nd following the 2 o'clock closing of the museum that day. Members will meet at 10 o'clock a.m. on May 1st to set the signage out along the trail in the industrial mine area. Number 9, Alan Jarrett did a great job in putting together a seasonal display for the museum consisting of historic school memorabilia. Number 10, because of the weather, the volunteer project for applying linseed oil to the Grasso Park structures, as well as the mine cart in front of the PROS building, has been postponed until June or July. Number 11, Karen announced that there was no correspondence mailed this month. A thank you note needs to be sent to Gary Swanstrom for the donation of the 8th grade school picture. Number 12, Mary Cartwright has proposed a barn cleanup workday for May 29th at 10 a.m. New business. Staffing for the May 2nd museum opening as well as the historic walk that day was discussed. Larry will provide lunch. The next ANFRAM meeting is April 20th at the Forney Museum. I was planning on attending, need to let them know today. Mary Cartwright is in contact with the Molly Brown House regarding Dia's session of items our group may be interested in receiving to see if they are still available. Museum maintenance was discussed and priority items include exterior building and porch painting, possible replacement of screen doors, and repair of wood around the windows or possibly window replacement. Brian will begin contacting potential contractors for the paint work. Larry has contacted the second grade teachers regarding the annual fall field trips. Catherine reported on the DU master's degree candidates and the status of their approval for the industrial mine site dig. Walt Ackerman moved that the meeting be adjourned at 11:40. Wally seconded the motion. Next meeting will be May 15th.
Any additions or corrections? Okay, motion to accept the meeting minutes.
I make a motion they be accepted as read.
Second.
Second by Walt. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Eyes are above the nose, motion.
Very good, thank you, Karen. Okay.
Did everybody get a copy of this that was being passed around?
Everybody get one that wants one? Okay. Okay, Bob, what's going on in your account?
Okay, the fire truck account now is $951.00. We added $40 to the account. $30 donation was collected at the spring presentation that Larry conducted, and we had a $10 DVD sale at the May 2nd museum. Then $30 was turned over to Superior for the architectural book account. 3 La Superior books were sold. The historic account still remains at $1,490.20.
I assume that'll change with the,
Yeah,
get the bill for the,
both of
moving
them.
the truck,
I
yeah.
think both of them will be changing here pretty quick. Yeah.
Okay, Tori?
And then in the historic preservation account, we have $2,467.79.
How much is?
Can you repeat that?
$2,467.79.
78?
79.
70.
You said 2467, didn't you?
Yep.
I got it right.
Good for you.
Feel so good about that? Okay. Let's go through the debriefing thing here. I thought maybe I'd pass a couple of these around to read while we're going through this first section. There's something that's going on over at Broomfield, so just for your information. Okay, so volunteer project, Tori, did we reschedule or something?
So we will be rescheduling it for mid-July, probably the weekend, maybe 2 weekends after 4th of July. Just due to the weather, we couldn't, hopefully the weather will work for this date. If not, we might move it to during the week. If that Saturday gets rained out, we'll move it to during the week so we can get it completed within July.
What date was that in July?
We haven't set it yet, but it'll be like the second weekend.
Second
or
weekend
third
or something?
Yeah.
Weekend after 4th of July, is it?
Mhm.
Okay.
And maybe if that doesn't work out during the week, later in the month.
Oh, okay.
All right, thank you. David or Bob want to talk about the Fording Museum, Fran?
Well, it was a good meeting. I gave us a tour of the executive car that they had down there, which was
Railroad car, yes.
yeah, the railroad car, and then they showed us the Chrysler, I guess you call it, the Chrysler product exhibit, which was very, to me, I don't know anything about cars, but boy, they were sure impressive.
Yes.
But yeah, they had a good meeting. I don't think they had the turnout that they normally have.
It's
As
been
far as
going on for a
members.
while. The
Yeah.
turnout's been down
Yeah.
last year or two.
It's been declining
Yeah.
in the membership.
Yeah, and the representatives there went through their schedule of what events they're going to have, and they had quite a list of events going on, I'll tell you. There's a lot of activity going on. So. But yeah, I enjoyed the meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's David, Larry, and Bob. You had anything, to that, Bob? David?
We also had a look at the motorcycle collection which had been donated some while ago.
Right.
That's really interesting too.
Seems like it was 80 motorcycles, like
Yeah.
Indians.
Indian motorcycle, yeah.
Indians and Harley-Davidsons, Triumphs.
Very impressive.
That was what you used to ride back in your
Yeah,
younger days.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, Wild One days.
Yeah, and then they're also restoring, they still have, I'm going to say, a little bit of work to do on the old Denver streetcar. They got a streetcar down there that they've been working on.
So I think that's all they're gonna do on it.
Is that it?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
that's gonna be the way it's displayed.
Oh,
Yeah, so, you know, they've got the railroad stuff and the car stuff, so, and motorcycles. Yep, okay. Spring program, it happened, I guess.
it was very good, Larry.
Yeah,
You did well.
Very good,
Great
Larry.
turnout.
Yeah,
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 they
yeah.
must have been confused about who the speaker was.
Had they only known,
That was great.
they could have stayed home and watched TV.
The renowned Larry Dorsey.
What did we decide at 50 plus, 55?
We had overflow parking, I know that.
Yeah.
I was in,
Yeah.
out on the
I
street.
was concerned you couldn't see the screen, too.
I could see it.
You were in the bleachers.
Yeah.
SRO, standing room only.
No, they had a good turnout.
Well, I sure enjoyed doing it, so. Thanks for
You know exactly where every spike is in these railroads and.
you bet. Yeah, that was a fun one. Okay, we'll see what happens next year, huh? May 2nd at the museum. We had a few visitors
Yeah,
prior to 2 o'clock.
yeah.
I don't think I got it, any kind of
I think we had about right around 15, I think.
before the
Yeah.
2 o'clock.
Counting the, what's his name, came over from Marshall and have
You might want this in your notes, Karen. A guy named Robert Sharp came that day. Robert Sharp. And
Sorry, I was doing.
this guy, Robert Sharp, is over at Marshall. You know that, you drive down Marshall Road and there's that house that's on I-beams and almost sticking out into the road? That's his place, and that house came from, he thought it was behind Target, but I don't think that's.
That's
no.
when we made a move to build a marketplace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark is involved in the marketplace
Yeah.
construction, yeah, so,
Stelmach home.
yeah, that's good to remember.
That
Stelmach.
was on the old, before they changed the Marshall Road, and that curve in there, that sat right on the, so to speak, on the curve there, and that was an old ranch. That was
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, years ago, Wally talked to him about that house becoming our museum, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
never went anywhere.
Yeah, that was.
So Wally, Sharp wanted to know some history on it, which we didn't know much, so we got him tied up to Laurel and Steve Bednar, Laurel Russell and Steve Bednar, so he's on the track of knowing more about the history, and Wally and I surmised that he was probably under some pressure from the county to do something about it. It's just been sitting there for 20 years, and so.
Well, one time, he was paying rent on the steel beams that was under there, because he came to the commission, wanted to know if we knew if there was any lots down here in Old Town, or Original Town, where he could probably go in and get it set up, and we said, no, we didn't have any idea. And he said at that time, the rental on the beams was eating him up.
Again, that was 15,
Oh,
16 years ago.
yeah, at least.
The historical walk, I thought, was,
Yeah,
I
it was.
felt good about that. I think we had 25.
Yeah, I think, yeah. We were fortunate, we didn't get rained on.
I felt that rain slipping around hitting me there.
Yeah, but I mean, had a clap of thunder there when we first
I
down
was
here.
really concerned. It was raining and wind blowing, and then it only lasted about 5 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Good turnout, because always the people really seem to enjoy themselves.
Yeah, they really do, they like
Yeah.
it.
Of course, Bob kind of stacked the deck too, though, because how many of your relatives were here?
Yeah.
So keep doing it, I keep getting our relatives
Yeah.
to show up, you can make it, add the numbers.
You're right there.
I don't think we left any stakes out there, Bob.
Yeah, well, poor old Larry, he's walking all
Don't have Denzel anymore.
up and
so I
down that
have to go up and down
hillside,
the
they're
hillside.
collecting stakes, yeah.
We had the younger guy doing it this year.
Yes. By a few years anyway. Square Nails Award, Nail Awards happened on May 11th, and our own Bob Morgan was the recipient
thank
of that.
Where did they
Thank
hit
you very much for nominating me.
You betcha.
Where did they hit you with the
We
mail?
took a picture, and I'm passing it around. The best picture is not the one I had the copy made of, so I'll try to get the better picture copy made.
Okay.
But anyway,
We have a celebrity in our midst,
It's a nice celebration,
Yeah.
yeah.
and well-deserved.
Well, thank you.
Oh, that was from
Thanks.
Square Nail?
yeah, that's
Oh,
the square
okay.
nail.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's-
I just took it on my phone.
Oh, great.
I found out you can take your phone down to Walgreens and they'll do pictures
Oh,
off your phone. down
Take all your personal data too.
to do what?
No.
Sounds like maybe I should.
Take
Had a
all
good
your-
turnout up there.
They would take all your personal data.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes,
Don't think about that, Karen. Okay, very good.
that's a concern, but.
Well, we've had a lot of activities in May and April, and so it looks like everything's coming along pretty well. So, number 2, Gail, how can you update us on that?
Number 2, cataloging.
Won't take long.
That's right.
Keep it in the same place.
Yeah, we didn't meet since our last meeting, but we have a tentative, almost for sure date of,
Intentions mean a lot, right?
yeah, we have a date set though.
First or second week in June?
Yeah, I think it was. So we'll get an email out, so if anybody else wants to join us, you can, but it's going to be June 5th or something like that. Okay, yeah, so, anything new on the oral history project? I don't think we should.
I don't believe so. Jill's, I don't think she's done anything new, and she seems to be our main person right now.
Okay.
Yes, Maureen.
Oh, yeah, the spirit, okay. She's asking Maureen.
What's there? Anything on the Superior information on Wikipedia?
Not yet, but I did want to know what the date was in July. Larry said he would like it for a 4th of July event here in Superior. Yeah. You would like it to be posted then, Larry?
Well, that's completely arbitrary date. I don't know how you came up with that, to be honest with you.
Okay.
So-
I'll just say that if that works, okay. If it needs to be later,
Yeah.
that's fine too.
That's right. That'd be a good way to
Okay.
put it, because we could tell people 4th of July that it's
Coming.
accessible, it's coming, yeah. So
Fine.
I think that's the only reason why we came up with that date.
If you need longer, that is okay as well.
Well, you will recall when we were over at Carnegie, the first mention of Superior was the Superior Lode, identified in 1875. So this would be the 140th year since they first found it. That's something to note historically. I thought we should work to that thing.
Well, that's-
Yeah.
What was 1875, the load?
The question mark. The load?
L-O-D-E,
okay.
the
Oh,
mine.
the
It's
load of the
where they
mine.
found the
Coal,
coal.
yeah,
Okay.
Yes, remember that my mother mentioned it in her oral history interview. There had been heavy rains that year and it exposed a vein of coal, and it was high grade. They called the coal Superior, so they named the town Superior after the high grade of the coal. Yes, my mother mentioned that in her narrator's history. I thought we could work to that, Larry. My thinking is the legal definition of town and township changed as Colorado moved into statehood. But we definitely have deeds from the 1880s that state the township of Superior in the county of Boulder. So that was before it became incorporated in 1892, yes.
Okay, so what should I say?
Go
This is
for
it,
it.
yeah.
That's great.
That
She's got her,
is
Yeah,
she's got her stuff together.
she does.
a good idea. To commemorate.
I forgot all about that 1875 deal. Is that 140 years? That's a good idea. That was what I said the first time I heard it too.
Yes, I thought so. Also, it's always been a prosperous farming community. Even when coal was the main industry, the farms always flourished around here. My great-grandfather developed a spread of about 480 acres. He bought from Union Pacific and added to the original Autry holdings. So he had a
That's really
very
something.
big ranch by the
yeah.
standards of Belleville.
Yes. It will be good
Get our history lesson today, huh?
Yeah,
to always
It's okay, that's pretty neat.
yeah.
Yeah.
keep
She's got, remember
the
that?
Yeah.
Watch
farming,
that,
farming in mind.
your
Which-
mother's DVD in here one day.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which is why we like commemorating Grass Oak Park, the farming history.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right. Well, that came out in the Autry Park sign, I think, as well. Yeah. Farm being in that area and so forth. Great.
I was wondering, Larry, whether the Historical Commission could ask Maureen for a copy of her thesis about the history
I
of
think we did, didn't we? And,
Shall I ask if
Yeah.
there's an update?
yeah, it seems like we approached her before about
Did
that.
you have
And she says we have to get it from the Missionary Library, I think,
Closer.
UNC.
date
We'll
for
just say, check
us
it out, I guess.
to get a copy?
And it would be nice if the Historical
Your
Commission could have a copy
thesis?
as part of the archive.
Well,
Right.
I better not commit. I had 3 systems fail on me this week and no way to communicate. Comcast went down for 5 hours yesterday. I better not promise.
It was longer than 5 hours at my house.
It was
Yeah.
very
I was going through the DTs without any internet.
bright. Spread.
Oh, you had it too?
Yes, and in Superior.
So I wrote a big long
I
email to some
know,
guy
so I
on my
better
iPad,
not
who
commit.
wouldn't go.
It's not mine.
Okay, thank you.
Well, it was really slow this week.
Yeah, it was slow all week, and then it pooped out yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday it did.
What'd you say?
She said she better not commit because of yesterday, so I just said thank you.
Okay.
But,
You can tell her we all had internet
yeah,
problems.
I did, I said it was in Superior, I said it was widespread, even in Superior, because of
Yeah.
course she's in.
Seems like we
Brazil.
asked her before about this, that she said we'd have to get it from the Missionary Library at UNC, and
Let's try to keep pressing on that.
Yeah.
go check it out for us.
Yeah, I could definitely do that.
Yeah.
You know where the library is, right?
Yeah.
Oh, come
Too
on. Come on.
And you know, if it would cost us money to obtain rights to get a copy or something, I'm sure.
Probably copying costs.
I can
It
actually
seemed like it would be
try,
possible.
they now have like an online database and you can pull up any document that they have at Missioner. So this afternoon I can look and see
Oh, okay.
if my account will let me get on there.
Oh,
If I get like the, afterwards I can get like the title and then her name and everything, and I can try to pull it up. And then I'll be up there next week, so I could actually go in if it's not online.
She said it was an award-winning thesis about the northern coalfield, the history of the northern, and details on the northern coalfield, so.
once you give Tori her, Morgan's whole name there.
Yeah, yeah.
So, we're gonna spend some time talking on number 5, that's for sure, because Mr. Walodorski is really good on full bore on this project, so turn it over to Wally.
Well, I'll do a brief recap of what's happened. As Karen stated in last month's meeting, Mountain Truck came out with a flatbed and on a Tuesday and picked it up. And they took it to their shop.
The commission needs to ride in its
So anyhow, Mountain Truck picked it up on Tuesday, and they did some preliminary stuff with it, put a battery in it, replaced radiator hoses, and I imagine they spark plugs and probably squirted some stuff in the cylinders on the engine. Thursday morning, they started it. It was pretty much done fast. They said they were absolutely amazed. The carburetor did not leak. The thing runs like a champ. Radiator did not leak. They ran it, they determined the engine does not have a crack block in it. They do not feel that it needs to be overhauled. It's good the way it is, and like I said, it runs pretty smooth. They checked the transmission. I think there's peepholes they can look in there. It looks like it's in really good shape. They seem to feel all they have to do is to, and it's in this estimate that we got from them, they're going to drain the transmission out, put all new fluid in it, or oil. The brakes look like almost brand new. The brake cylinders, they need to either, I don't remember if they said they're gonna replace them or if they're gonna put repair kits in. And I think they also addressed the master cylinder in it. So pretty much it's good to go almost the way it is. And well, I guess they're gonna look at the wheel bearings and all that stuff. We got an estimate from them, and well, in the meantime, I had checked on tires on it, because if there's a possibility, and I emphasize it's only a possibility, that this thing is drivable by the 4th of July this year for the parade, it has to have new tires on it. So I ended up checking with a tire place, it's called TDS, which is on Highway 66 and I-25. And they've given us also included in this estimate to run the truck for tires. So the total estimate to get this truck, including what Mountain Truck will do and what the tires, is $4,800. And that's 6 brand new tires and tubes. They will come to Mountain Truck and pull the wheels off the fire truck and replace the tires right there. The reason we had to go to this tire company as opposed to going to one of your local tire companies is because of the wheels on the fire truck. They have split rims on it, and most tire places will not touch them with a 10-foot pole. They consider them as widow makers, and if people don't know what they're doing, they can get seriously hurt, and as the name implies, they can actually get killed. So that's why we didn't go to Peerless or Discount Tire. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
What kind of fuel does it run on?
Yes.
Unleaded, I mean, regular gas?
Yeah, I think that just has a little 6-banger in it.
But I mean, can it run on unleaded?
Unleaded, I think so.
You may have to put lead substitute in to stabilize.
That I can't answer.
Like with my Fiat, I had lead something to gas, and I put gas in it because it doesn't run well either without.
It's a Fiat, they don't run well. That's, Fiat stands for fix it again, Tony.
No. This one I've not had much trouble. But yeah, you put in, they make an unleaded, or a leaded piece of stuff that you can add to unleaded gas to like, help that out.
And I don't think that additive is very expensive.
No. Like $1.25 for the pint bottle.
And it's what little we're gonna be probably driving at that.
I was just
Probably
curious.
last us for quite a while.
That was a good thought.
That's a good question, though, because that's a,
Free.
that is the 45 model engine that's in there, which apparently it is. That was obviously before lead-free days, so.
And speaking of the 45, we ended up, I don't know who found it, but.
Maybe Phyllis did.
Okay, Phyllis, because I had talked to Phyllis, they found the title for it.
Somebody.
Is there still Eveline?
Yeah. And according to the title, it is a 1945. Now, one time we thought it was probably a 42. It is a surplus Army fire truck. That much we know. And the town of Lafayette received that fire truck brand new on VE Day, what was it, May 8th or 9th in 1945. And it was painted red at the time. I didn't think to bring my book, but Jim Hutchinson has written a book on fire trucks, and it's in there, it's listed. Anybody wants to look at it, that's a copy of the title.
And Bob Gissel had dated 1942 on this.
Yeah.
Was that based on anything or just what we had?
I think just what we had
Oh,
told him.
okay.
Now, that doesn't mean that it's not a 42. I suppose it's possible, I don't know if it's probable that the Army issued those without a title.
I bet you did.
It's possible.
I don't think they titled vehicles back then.
Well, and it could be.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
like
very,
the
military.
yeah, but it was titled in 45, so that's all we're basing that on.
And I can't remember where we picked up it. It was a 42 model now.
Yeah.
It's probably the same place we heard about the cracked block.
No, the guy in Estes Park said it was probably a 42.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
So that's what I said, we're not disputing it, just at this time, we don't have, and I've checked with the motor vehicle department, because I thought maybe we could go back and get it, but seeing how this has not been continuously licensed, they have purged the records. At least that's what they told me, so there's really no way that I know of, unless there's an archive someplace that we can check back and find out.
They don't archive it.
Yeah, so they're gone. So the only thing we base it on is what's on the title.
So things have developed very rapidly here in the last few weeks, and Brian and Matt Bagley have been in on these developments, and so the ball's over in their court, but the bottom line is that what is that, 4,800 plus the roughly 1,500 we've already put into it.
Yeah.
We could have this running by 4th of July.
Now
If
with
that $4,800 comes up, which is
Right.
still to be determined.
Now with the 1,500, that included, that was loading up, taking it over there, and bringing it back and putting it in storage, and doing the diagnostics. So, if you will, we still have the ride coming back, because even if we do the work, put tires on it, we don't have plates on it, it has to come back, so we still have the ride coming back. Now, one of the things, I guess, that we need to think about, if the town, and it's up to the town whether they do this, if they decide not to, and we bring it back, and then it goes someplace else to do the work, then wherever else it goes, there's another record fee going in there, if you will, to take it wherever it's going. Bob told me at the Mountain Truck, and I made sure he understood that this is not, I have nothing to do with this, it's totally the town. He said, if they decide to do it, mechanic that they're going to have work on it's going on 2 weeks vacation starting next week. So that would give them time to order the parts for it. When he comes back, they can start working on it. Otherwise, I think they'd like to get it out of their you know, if we decide not to do it, they would like to get it out of there because they are swamped in the space.
Well, I guess all we can say now is that,
Well, have
ball's
it,
over to Matt's court.
has this figure now been presented to the trustees or anybody?
Not
No,
particularly.
just now.
I'm not sure how Matt wants to handle it. It's not a big figure, so.
Yeah. Matt does have a copy of it. I just talked to him this morning.
We have a meeting our next meeting's Tuesday after Memorial Day. Maybe it'll come up there. I'm not sure if he's putting it on the agenda or just gonna fill us in through his weekly updates.
Yeah.
Well, it seems that based on what we heard on our joint meeting,
Yeah,
the
I
board's
think,
behind it,
yeah,
so.
I think so. I think
Yeah.
that there would be a lot of support for it.
Yeah.
And also, they need to realize that on top of this $4,800 fee, you're gonna have license plates, which I'm guessing are not much. And then you're gonna have to do about insurance. So, yeah, you know, I'm just saying that's something they need to bear in mind as well.
Well, your insurance that you already have on your vehicle.
Here's Matt, he's gonna fill us in.
Sorry to interrupt.
Did you bring a check with you?
I got my credit card.
Ooh, we're gonna make it smoke.
Are you getting something about the fire truck?
Yes,
Just
that's
have
what
a
it
go
is.
around
Oh,
that.
that's perfect timing.
Yeah.
It was.
Well, I went over this and I think, unless Joe thinks otherwise, I think this is something we can go ahead and give them an okay to proceed with.
Yeah, that's important because Wally was just saying, the guy that has the truck, if he knows right away, he can start ordering parts
Yeah.
and knows he's doing the work. Otherwise, he's gotta get the thing out of there to do real
No, yeah,
work.
I say we give them a go ahead.
I don't see
All right.
that.
It'd be great to have it in this year's.
That's the
There would be.
thing. So we'd have to get plates and on it too
Yeah,
eventually.
once we get it running
Yeah.
and get the tires on it and stuff, then we can work and get the.
What about insurance, Matt?
Yeah, it'll be covered, it's already covered under our,
Oh, okay.
the town's insurance policy because it's an asset, so.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'll have our finance department check to see if there's any additional.
Your ears must have been burning because we were there.
Actually, it was good.
I've got a secret microphone in
Yeah,
there.
That was that.
Joking.
Oh, yeah.
It was all Walt, he's the one.
That's just a joke, I don't want that.
Well, it's ironic because we were actually, that's the very one we were on, so.
Perfect. Well, hopefully I didn't shorten the conversation.
No, actually, we're.
No, that's perfect because there is that's the window to possibly get it running by July 4th.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Well, then will you get a hold of them up there yourself, or you?
Well, who's been working with them?
Brian.
Well, Wally has.
Well, Brian, actually, I think Brian's the one that should do it,
Okay.
because I keep making,
Tori's gonna take care of it.
I keep making sure they understand that I have no say.
Right, yeah.
And Brian is the one that should probably get with them and figure out how they're gonna handle the finances and.
But Brian's not here today, so.
Right,
Right.
and, yeah, that's, I think, the right way to do it, Brian is.
Yeah, okay.
Good idea.
So Monday, is that soon enough to get back to them, or do they need to know today?
No, they don't need to know today, I'm
Okay.
sure Mondays, I think he'd be ecstatic to get it that quickly.
Okay.
Like I say, the reason I went through, maybe I'd already mentioned it, I went through that tire, the TDS tire, which is on Highway 66 in I-25. That had, because of the wheels on there, no tire company like Peerless will touch it because it has split rims on it. They call it a widowmaker. And they came out and looked at the wheels and said they wouldn't work on it.
Okay, all right.
Because he had already told me when I talked to him over the phone, depending on what kind of wheels, some of them are illegal and they won't touch them. Then we'd have to look at new wheels.
Right, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I'll have Brian call him on Monday morning and just tell him.
Excellent.
Okay.
You guys cleared this with Gladys?
La, 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 la. Another thing I think we should think about, and that may not affect us this year for the 4th of July, but the town maybe should think about setting up standards or whatever you want to call it on who drives this. I mean, who you're gonna let drive.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And we should also maybe look at what you think the liabilities will do and how it will affect the insurance if we, in the future, allow people to ride in it. In the back of, say, like
We just might need
Cub Scouts,
additional
Girl,
coverage through our
yeah,
insurance.
Girl Scouts,
No
whoever.
Girl Scouts can drive.
Yeah. Well, or, you know, if you want kids in there
No
or
cookies.
whatever, and they have a responsible
Yeah,
adult,
there's
and throw
specific
candy
coverage
out.
for that.
You have to sit on the phone book. You can't.
We use cars from dealerships to ride in the parades, or we have in the past, and people riding in those, they have to have insurance to cover that too, so, yeah, we'll check on that.
Don't mention the word Widowmaker when you're talking insurance.
All right. No, we won't mention that.
But I guess on those rims.
That's
they-
only in the tire shop.
Yeah. On those rims, that is a concern, because if they're not put on there right, whoever's working on them, they have been actually known to kill them when they pop the rims.
Well, I think Wally just likes telling that story.
I know.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, nice to see everybody.
Man, thank you so
I'm glad
much.
you interrupted. You're right.
Good time, right?
Yes.
Should we call you if we want some more money?
Yeah, you know, you got my cell phone, right?
Okay, the carte blanche, guys, go for it.
I guess so.
All right.
Well, that makes me feel good. That was all worth it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you've
Can I say
really done
something?
something
I would
great.
like to commend Wally.
Yes.
For the time he's put into this and just keeping it going and all that, because I think it really shows.
Doesn't mean we're not gonna let you drive it though.
As long as I can stand on the bumper in the back, I don't care. Another thing that maybe we should discuss while we're on the fire truck. I mean, we're talking possibly next year of getting it painted. And so if you guys wanted that in the budget for next year, when do we need to get estimates and turn that in?
Brian will tell you, the budget cycle is fairly soon. He's gonna, boy, we were just going through that with our class.
Well,
It's coming up, so yeah, but as a whole internal budget cycle, and
I
the
think
board
it'd be-
starts looking at it by August.
Oh, okay.
I
Now-
think it'd be whenever we were planning to try
Yeah.
to just leave out the mechanical and just go for the paint now.
Now, while Mountain Truck has this, and I don't know where we come into where how much we want to, Mountain Truck is not going to have anything to do with this, but he knows a guy who has a
Well, I
paint
have
shop.
a question.
And we might be able to get him to come over to Mountain Truck while they have it and look at it and give us an estimate on getting it painted.
Yes,
Now, is that gonna be too much of a conflict coming out of one
Well,
business like
yeah,
that,
yeah,
even though the tire company and the paint company are not part of Mountain Truck?
They're different.
I realize they're different, but I wanna make sure.
All
that
it
we're-
is an estimate, and I'm
Well,
saying,
that's right,
Yeah, I'd like to put out what is called the request for
for
bid
bid,
or whatever.
Yeah.
oh, that's different, Brian would have to deal with that.
Yeah.
but that's one of the things I'm gonna do. And then also, I was over, out of Loveland, just on 287, before you drop into Loveland, there's a place on the right-hand side of the road called Firehouse Storage. They have two big fire trucks out there, so I stopped and talked to them and about, because I think they had one of theirs restored and sitting there. So they're gonna get back with me maybe next week and give me some information on some bids, some people that they maybe had. So I might have possibly a couple of bids that we can get. That's why I was wondering when we might need to turn these in on estimates on paint jobs.
Well, like I said, the board will be starting to look at the budget in August. The internal workings, staff will be soon.
Okay.
Probably what would happen is that those people look at it, then they put them on the list of requests for the bid, and they would be
Yeah.
in the bidding
Once
process.
you get it,
So,
That's what I'm
this-
guessing
at
anyway.
least one estimate, then you can, that
Yeah.
can go into the budget.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
I
But
think-
see, if we're gonna throw that out for bids in here afterwards, why, you know, that's gonna have to happen soon, because August is just around the corner.
But you can use your estimate
No,
for the
you can
budgeting, and then you
use
do
the
your
estimate for
bid.
the budgeting, that's not, you don't have, that's, and the board approves the budget and we go out for the, they can't go out for the bid
If it's not in the
if
budget.
it's not in the budget, it's gotta
Oh,
be.
okay.
So that's not gonna be till 2016 budget.
Okay.
You just need to estimate now, so that
We'll approve the budget
yeah.
in the fall, but, you know, it'll be a 2016
So,
project.
yeah, if the guy can.
Unless there's found money this year to go ahead and get it done.
Oh, he's still not.
Yeah, I mean, that's always a
Well,
possibility.
okay.
I've got a couple of
Oh, sorry.
points.
Uh,
I've got a couple
Okay,
of
and
points
then
I'd like to
Dave
raise.
Ryan wants-
Does the fire engine have a spare road wheel?
Have a spare one.
A spare road wheel, like,
Spare tire.
Oh,
Spare
spare
tire.
tire? I
think
can't
so.
answer that. I don't think so, but I don't know that to be a fact.
I just wondered whether it would need to be processed at the same time as the actual running wheels, the six.
I've not seen one.
No.
I don't know.
We have pictures of it, but unless it's up underneath the frame,
Yeah.
I don't think it's there, because if we have a thing that shows the back of it, there's nothing there that I know of.
Here's the back end, I don't see a tire anywhere.
Yeah. I think most of those vehicles like that, they figure if they get a flat tire
You've
out
replaced it
somewhere,
too.
they don't want the firefighters probably messing with it, and they call a service truck, especially,
Jim, did you see all these?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that should be determined, though. That's-
yeah.
Whether there's one under the chassis.
Well, yeah, I mean,
perhaps, or-
it's crossing my mind of what is cost of new wheels if that split rim is gonna be a persistent problem.
Well, it's not a problem as long as you can get somebody to work on it,
Well-
because it's
Legally, yeah.
it's two pieces. The one that's real, that they won't touch and is legal, that's three pieces.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's-
and they are nasty, they'll
Yeah.
tell you flat out, they cannot and will not touch them.
Because I think David, another,
Yes, also Jim Hutchison's son-in-law is the head of the department, of the fire department in Lafayette. And
Right.
I think he knows quite a bit of the early history of the fire engine when it was in service of Lafayette, and maybe where they actually acquired it from. So I
well,
wonder-
Wally spent some time with one of the
Yeah,
guys,
I can't remember what
Jerry
his name
Kellett,
is.
Jerry,
Kellett, or,
it's
he's a
Christian
fire
names.
Jerry
marshal
Morrell,
out of
I remember
Lafayette.
Jerry.
I actually went over and talked to him.
Jerry.
And he was the one that was, well, and it's in Jim's book, but he was telling me that they got that truck new in 1945.
you told me he was there when that unloaded or something, too.
Yeah,
I just wondered where it actually came from. I had heard it was based down in Pueblo, Colorado, but maybe that was like a storage facility or something for military
well,
equipment.
that's very, very, very possible.
There's
I
a-
haven't gone any further than that, but I asked this guy, I said, if we want to come back and get some more, he said, no, we can go over and talk to
I've
him.
got Jerry Morrell on my list of people to contact.
Oh, right.
Okay. But, Pueblo has an army depot down there, that might be where.
Could very well be. It was painted red, though, it was not the army color, it was, and when you get to looking at it, I think they just come in, and that might have been that Howe, remember when the guy who was talking about that, and there's a sign on the back of that thing that says Howe, H-O-W-E. Where were they, out of Cincinnati? They were out of Ohio. And they were the ones, I think, that ended up getting these surplus trucks.
Well, they
And
put
then-
the bed, fire truck bed on.
It was built under
Yeah.
military contract, and
Yeah.
how
And
fit,
then, no, it's okay, and then painted them red, so they were red when they came out.
Chevrolet supplied the chassis, and Howe supplied the bodywork for the specific for a fire engine.
Yeah.
And I wonder whether, there was just one thing. In the late 1970s, Howe Fire Equipment Company was taken over by Grumman Aerospace. I had wondered whether maybe Northrop Grumman might be at all interested in maybe sponsoring some of the restorations. I think they have a facility at Gunbarrow in whether they might be interested in signing these. As it's like a successor, like a ancestor company of theirs. You might maybe contact.
I guess we could always check it, I believe Matt, and I'm agree on this because I don't know if I'm correct, had made the comment when we were checking into going with historical funds. And the hoops we had to jump through, and he said or was it he had said he didn't want to mess with that they thought maybe the town would just go ahead.
Okay.
Finance it all.
Yeah, am I correct on that?
That has some discretion, that's within his discretionary level.
Yeah.
And of course, if the estimate's gonna be out of sight or something
Oh,
like
I
that.
have no idea.
Change that too.
We're not talking about taking the body off, so I don't think it will be that high.
Well, we're not, but Rusty Lee, when I talked to him the last time, said, be sure you do frame off, so he'll be sorry to get out, so. That's to be determined too, I guess.
Yeah, well, that would.
We don't have to, of course. Maureen?
Okay,
Thank you.
okay.
You're welcome, Dave. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, they are, we considered a 501c3 nonprofit.
Commission.
The commission.
No.
That's Joe.
I don't know,
Yeah, I don't think so, because,
or ten.
Because we're
Yeah.
town.
Because
We're a town entity versus
Yeah.
a society.
That's what I would say.
we are
Yeah,
on
yeah.
part.
You should know this stuff.
Why? I'm not giving you money. I can't deduct it.
If they were so organized as a nonprofit, perhaps the businesses could donate time or material, and it could be a tax write-off to a charity. If we had been set up that way, it might have defrayed us. I was thinking you could get them to do the work on the truck as a tax write-off. Is there any way the town could set that up?
If the town's gonna put the bill, we don't have to, so.
I don't think that will be necessary.
We've talked on about having businesses.
It's a
do some
goodwill
adoption
thing
things
more
around the
than-
museum, you know,
Because
get some flower
the
beds or
town
sponsor cleaning up the
is
museum or something.
going to fund it all at this point.
Well, keep it in mind, I work with Ski for Light, and it's a non-profit, and we get some local businesses to do for us in that way. It's a 501c3 non-profit, so it's a tax write-off if you donate to it. That really helps defray costs. Yeah.
Great idea.
Because the truck is owned by the town, it's not a deductible thing for the business. It becomes a goodwill thing, the expense for the
Goodwill.
It's not deductible.
That's what Cody was doing.
Oh, it owns the
Yeah.
town. Yeah,
Yeah,
the town
It's
owns
effective.
it.
yeah,
Advice.
so it's not.
Now, I have one more thing
deductible.
before we get off of this, if it's okay.
And I have one thing too.
Okay. I'm wondering, when we have this thing painted, if we would, one of the things we should do is find out when Superior officially had a fire department. Whether that was clear back when they were just using the canister out here, and then when the fire department officially ended. And if we want to have that date put on the fire truck, you know, maybe Superior, on the door, Superior Fire Department, and then I'll throw dates out, 1900 to 1885, whatever the actual dates were, and put that on the door.
Well, okay, we can consider that, I think, but that's, otherwise the option would just be to have it the way it was when the Superior.
Well,
Music.
Yeah.
Well, I just thought I'd throw that out.
I just think it would be good to get the history, because, you know, when they were running those things, the towns all had competitions and all that, so, we might even get some help from Louisville if Superior competed against the Louisville Fire Department and all that, so there might be something there, but that's just so different and so much fun for people to find out. So that's good.
Walt?
I looked at the another friend of mine used to own a tire shop in Boulder, and we were talking the other day at something about seatbelts for the truck. And there is a company, he told me about in Oklahoma, that will manufacture seatbelts to your specifications that fit. You can use, and they have laptop and they have like car ones. And the inexpensive ones that are not retractable and can be mounted to the bottom of the bed, not behind you, but to the bottom of the bed, are somewhere between $19 and $39, depending on how fancy you want to get with them. And there are others around too. I noticed when I looked at this one where, they're $19 to $30, $40, $50 for a laptop seatbelt, seatbelt. Some are adjustable like the old ones are, and then you can get retractable like the new ones are. So they are available and can be made to order if we need them to.
Okay.
Good to know.
Yeah, this is probably something that should be added. That's always a problem.
I
Classic
figure
things
once
too,
we set
because-
the rules of who's gonna and how we're gonna write in the insurance issues, then we can figure out that we need them.
You probably have to have them for your
Well,
insurance.
even if we don't have to have them, I think we should.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm kind of adamant that we should. It's like, I was always adamant school buses should have seatbelts, but Boulder School District wouldn't pay the amount to have a bus with seatbelts in them.
I don't think you're gonna find very many school districts that do it.
That's crazy.
It
That's
is.
true.
Well, you don't have to use an infant seat in a taxi cab.
Is that right? I guess you have to.
Taxi cab and buses, you don't have to use boosters and car seats.
You don't have to.
Nope.
What? Really?
Oh, yeah. I get scowled at when I carry my booster seat in cabs.
Like, the buses don't have to have,
And they don't have to, and a child does not have to be restrained or in a car seat.
in a school bus.
Or
Any bus.
any bus or taxi or any public,
The only
PUC
belts I've
regulated.
seen is the
Or
handicap.
passenger trains either.
Yeah.
Right, that is right, another.
Although I think they're, after some stuff that's happened, on school buses and stuff, I think they're looking. That doesn't mean that within the next 10 years it's gonna happen. I think they're looking at it.
My
Some of them
grandkids
have them
get
though.
it.
Wally and I just took the bus from Raton to Denver, the end of our trip, and that bus had seat belts. It's the first time I've seen them.
Well, want to move on to, thanks again to the Walagorskis for their work on
Yes.
this.
Good job, Molly.
Number 6 was Mary.
Well, when I went back online after contacting the Monogram House, all the items I had thought might be interesting were gone except for 2. And I haven't actually gotten back to see if they're still there, because I knew the next 2 or 3 weeks I couldn't get down there anyway. So the only thing left is a little child, at that time, was a little child's dress. And it was in only fair condition, and some other little child's one, I can't remember. So I'll still go back and try to see if they're there. If they want, I'm happy to do that. But the neighbors were gone.
Molly Brown House de-accessioning things, and we saw some clothing that might be relevant. Mary said when she got in, there's only one mouse, so follow it on to see anything possible. Thank you for that. I've now heard from all 3 teachers, and they're all enthusiastically wanting to do the field trip in September, so we'll plan on that as we get closer to the time. They kind of said, a couple of them said what days they prefer, what days of the week, so we are in contact, and I should probably share that with
Chris,
Mayor and Chris Hansen.
yeah, definitely.
Oh, okay, Brian, how about the Zoom maintenance?
So Brian met with Vivax Pro Painting Company, and he's waiting on the estimate. And there's $5,000 in the capital improvement budget. So that's all I have.
Yeah, I talked to him the other day, and he said essentially what Tori just said, so He's got some other feelers out there, that's the only estimate only companies replied so far.
What would that cover? 5,000?
Well, I just have to get the estimate back, Bob, to see what,
Okay. 5,000 is what's been appropriated.
yeah.
Okay.
So hopefully, whatever they come up with, we can handle that way, so. Remember from our previous meetings, we're looking at painting 3 walls, about 4 walls, and both decks and repairing the screen doors and possibly. I doubt if we can go into all the window repairs, but that would come out of money, so.
There is, what is it, chunk that's out of the side of it.
Yeah.
That's obviously, I think, one that we.
Yeah, that'd be part of it, it's got some resin, it's a resin kind of like a large scale wood filler.
Yeah.
So barn work day, we have scheduled for May 29th,
Time?
10 a.m.
10?
And, so.
What day is that?
Friday.
Friday.
Oh, okay.
So, we'll,
Where are our brothers?
that's for darn sure.
I guess then what, and I can volunteer to do that. Before we do this, go over and get the locks off the doors and stuff with it, and make sure we don't have a hornet problem in there. I don't think we do, but it would not hurt to check and make sure.
Yeah.
'Cause I took them out of the outhouse here last year, so.
That's
That could be
another
rude.
thing. I'll bring over sometime a yellow jacket spray, because the yellow jackets are active underneath the porch and the museum.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, they're back in here again?
They're back in here.
We sprayed them last year, so.
Yeah, well, I was watching the last time. Last time, no, the front porch, yeah.
How they getting in?
Watching them
They just
go
don't
down
have
into the,
Just underneath
down
someplace.
under.
underneath the boards there.
I'm not going in there.
Just don't tell them to save the yellow jacket.
Don't wear your short wear on.
Well, then we can get you to go in the barn.
Don't get one volunteer.
We'll take you to a long pole and
You're
shove
always
you in there.
volunteering me, I know.
It goes back down the line, we can go in.
Yeah.
You can do our
I
canary.
already got walked over there once, man.
Yeah, so wear your gloves, bring your gloves and your particle masks, I guess, and we'll get in there, show some things around. Correspondence, Karen.
Okay, we sent out a couple thank you notes this month, one to Gary Swanstrom for his picture of the 8th grade class, and also I thanked him for some of the history he provided on the Admires and the Spicers. And then later on, Larry and I met with Beth Smith over at the museum one day, and she donated a bunch of stuff to us, including some old children's shoes and what else was there, Larry? I
Well,
thanked her for a
slicer.
whole list of stuff.
There was
and
that
I'm
meat
drawing
slicer, that's
blank.
kinda neat.
Yeah, oh, a button
Button hook.
hook. Anyway, we
Button-
thanked her
button
for all
your
those
shoes.
items, yeah.
Yeah.
They're over in the museum right now.
To be cataloged.
What you wanna do is go la, la, la.
Thank you for doing that, Karen.
Okay, any further thank yous we need?
Send one to Larry for his talk.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Do that.
I'll be looking for that. I better hold my breath though, huh?
Actually, I guess if we bring donuts in next month's meeting, that would probably be.
That's good.
that'd be
Careful,
great.
we've already volunteered. If we get too many people doing it.
Well, I know, I'm just saying, if we do it, that would
That's
probably
my-
be
that's my thank you.
his
Oh,
thank
that's
you.
the thank you. Okay. Jeez.
Well, the reprinting of the Lost Superior book, I communicated again with Bonnie Blake from the publishing company, they're the ones that published it, first edition. And so she said they could look at smaller quantities, and she said that what's really driving the price is that special folder in the back for the oversized So you could also consider doing without that. But I don't think that would, I think that'd really affect the quality of the.
Yeah.
So just to refresh your memory, I think I can't find the date on it now, but I think it was 500, 1,000, and 1,500 were the three choices. And they're all just a little under, a little over $10,000 for that, so. The more you produce, the less it costs, so. And I know last time we talked about, or one at a time, we talked about other ways of printing it. And I didn't have enough courage to ask her about the copyright. I don't want to say, what if we have something else printed? And I'm sure that there's some copyright issues with that, so this will keep looking at that, maybe between now and the next meeting, trying to get an updated inventory of how many we have left.
How many do they have printed, first of all? Right. 'cause-
Probably at least 1,000.
Oh, yeah,
And
I
that was
think it
around-
was, yeah.
yeah.
And that's lasted X number of years, and then we put
Yeah,
sort of,
even though we've been selling it below cost too, so.
that's true.
Discounted price.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
Martin's fault.
Yeah.
Because we haven't sold them that way too, so that's too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not here playing on you.
That's right.
We can get Vicky a quota, she's pretty good at something.
What's that?
Get Vicky a quota, she's pretty good at something.
Okay. So, and the other, I have a couple others. One is that, I'm talking with Carol Bean from Boulder County. I want to say this carefully. She's anticipating a long process for the archaeology girls to go digging. So, Carol said she's already put X number of hours in this deal, and they have a long way to go. And she, well, I'll just put it this way, it looks like the insurance issues could be a major stumbling block.
There's also more groups that we have to go through for the okay, well, you said the agricultural or?
Oh, yeah, she said it's, that particular property, thanks for reminding me, comes under the bailiwick of about 5 different agencies within the county government. And it's too bad that Vicky's not here because some of her relatives are involved. The Hogan family, they've got the grazing rights. So it's agriculture, it's open space, I can't remember all the different bureaus. And so if the Hogan family doesn't agree to it, it won't go anywhere.
I haven't seen any cows with Hogan's this year. I don't know what's going on there, but all of a sudden it's just starting.
I don't know either, but sometimes they graze them out there.
Yeah, but there's none out there either, so I don't know what.
A question I have is how long do those master's degree candidates have?
Yeah.
I would think they would want to be started no later than this coming September, because they're not gonna hang around forever trying to get their master's degrees.
I think they like to do it over
I mean,
the
they've
summer,
already
yeah.
been on it a year, and really, basically, nothing has happened. I think
Well,
that's
it's a master's
becoming an
degree
issue
program.
now.
Yeah, I hate
Well,
that.
especially if they got, which is what we said from the beginning, you got a whole lot of people that get them okay from it.
Yeah.
So if it's gonna be to the point where it's not gonna happen, right, maybe as a courtesy to them, we ought to let them know that it's, depending on how much time they have left. it's not
Carol was
gonna-
talking with
That's
them.
up
Oh,
to
okay.
them. That's
Yeah,
up
I'm
to the
assuming they
county,
know
that's
about
not
it.
our issue.
Yeah.
And Carol's talked to them directly, so,
Okay.
frankly, I think Carol's a little, all the time she's put in on it, don't know how much more time she's gonna wanna put on it.
Yeah.
So that's just life, and Carol's very easy to work with too, so. In listening to the minutes, I heard Karen talk about the archive boxes, and they've been delivered, so. And they're actually in the museum. Any other old business? I think that's all I've got, so we'll go to new business. Pardon me. We'll get together a group for June 6th.
Yeah, I'll
The old Bob, see the old backbone of our outfit.
Oh, yeah.
We won't be able to be there, but Vicki wanted us to
think so.
know that
I
she'll
think
provide
that camp out
lunch.
is the Halloween weekend.
So,
I'm sorry.
Vicki said she'll provide lunch that day.
Oh, okay.
So she wouldn't be at this meeting, she wanted us to know.
I believe we're available.
Okay, so, well, the usual suspects then. I think I am, as far as I know. Older Heritage Roundtable, at the Spruce Street Mansion of History Boulder, which is right there at the, yeah, it's right there at Spruce and Broadway.
Oh, the old Masonic,
No, next one down.
I think it's, yeah, next door or down the block from there.
No, it's right by that parking lot at Spruce and Broadway.
Yeah.
Behind,
Oh.
behind the,
Okay, right,
behind the
okay.
hot dog place.
okay.
They were
all right,
historic
I'm with
boundaries.
you now, okay.
Towards
Yeah.
Old-
Same building,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
But May 21st has been canceled.
Yes.
um,
Well, that's why, didn't I say that?
No.
I didn't get to it, okay, yeah.
Because they did the thing the other night on the awards, they're not holding a May meeting.
So I'll probably go to June 18th, and anybody else is always welcome to go. It's very informal.
That's in the morning?
11:30,
11:30, yeah.
so they usually have some snacks.
You'll be there for sure.
That's right.
When Bill Arndt did the emceeing the other night, he stressed that there's hardly any rules, regulations, organization, no chair, but everything seems to get done anyway, so. Sometimes there's 3 or 4 people there, sometimes there's 10. Oh, what's this, Brian, that's on here next?
Yeah, so from what I have, on June 30th, Mary, Jill, and Walt's terms will be up. So we just wanted to double check and see if you would all want to be reappointed.
Walt, Jill, and who else?
Walt, Jill, and Mary.
And I think we all responded back
Yeah.
on the email.
Yeah.
Okay.
Affirmative.
I did
Okay.
too.
Yeah, we said they can't get rid of us that
Well,
easy.
I do remember that, because I had a minority opinion, but no.
I think I said if they'll take me, and Larry said, don't give us the option. I chose to delete that one there.
No, thank you very much. Okay, well, then I
On
think,
that topic, in board meeting this week, we had one person interview as an applicant to get on the commission. Her name was Katie Olson. So I don't know if anybody else is interested in interviewing and submitting an application, but they should do so before the board makes any decisions, if you know of anybody that might be interested.
I've written out my application form, it's been handed in today. so-
Okay, because we can have an interview on our next meeting,
Okay.
I imagine.
I met Katie at the program night. She was in the audience and introduced herself to me afterwards, so. She has a strong interest in history because she and her father run the, it's called Art something, Art Source or something like that.
He runs Artsource, but I think she works in the map store down there.
Yeah.
She's very interested in that.
On Pearl Street in Boulder have the antique maps and photographs.
I suggested she come to today's meeting, and I thought she was going to.
I suggested that too, because shows how much influence they have.
Yeah, I'm used to not being listened to. But
You're a married
anyway,
man.
with that June, well, I don't know, we have one vacancy right now?
Yes.
So, I guess, a word to the wise.
Yep. Okay, thanks for bringing that up. July 4th, well, we may not have to use Mars, huh?
We'll see.
No, we may not have,
Yeah.
right.
And Forney, I don't know, do you want me or anybody else want to pursue Forney? Last year was fruitless, and the year before that it was the 11th hour when they got the old car from Forney.
I would guess I would throw that out. If you want, you could try and contact them, and if they're, do like they have in the past, and you don't get any response, try it once, drop it.
I think that's where we are with 4D. This is, they're not,
Three-strike policy.
yes.
Yeah.
The last couple times they sent the volunteer with their own cars, I think, too, so rather than a 40 car, so. Those guys were Model A's. Well, I will give them another chance. Oh, might be sending this around. I want to send this around. I made a, reason why I have this document is because I did a program on a whole different topic at Broomfield Grange Hall, sponsored by the Broomfield Depot Museum. And the topic was, they wanted me to talk about the Monarch mine explosion and the shootout at the Superior Depot. The dude seriously got killed, so I did. And Jim Listoka, who's been a real nice benefactor with some small things, and I think he'll have some other things for us someday, bought this photograph. So he bought the photograph online, and then he made a copy of it for us. And it shows the first person being brought out by, first body being recovered from the Columbine, from the Monarch mine disaster. And so that can be part of our collection. And he's got an explanation on the back. Two of the guys were from Broomfield, and that's one of the reasons why the Broomfield Museum people wanted me to talk about it, so.
Is that where the Jeremy monument came from?
Yeah.
Somebody said he was the mule skinner.
Yeah.
Paramil was.
Yeah. Yeah, he was in charge of the mules. He was the mule boss or something like that. Yeah, remember there were 8 fatalities and 1 never came out. But 7 came out. 7 bodies were recovered. Joe Jaramillo's was not. So, and we talked about the monument and all that sort of thing. I also. I think I was talking with Patrick. Either Patrick or Brian said that some of our interpretive signs are becoming unlaminated. And in fact, one day, I'm pretty sure it was Patrick, somebody found the Ted Asti, the top of the Ted Asti sign, and they just put it by the stand so it could be found. And so the town staff re-glued those together, and that one and the one in front of the museum is really faded. And so either Patrick or Brian, whoever talked to, was pretty upset about that because of the, it's supposed to have a pretty long life. So they think about having a different sign coming next time. In the meantime, we'll keep an eye on them and make sure they get glued back together okay. Okay, any other new business? Karen?
There's a lady by the name of Ann Denny. She was honored at the Square Nail Awards the other night for that award ceremony. Anyway, she's moving into Fraser Meadows, and in the process of doing that, she's selling her book collection. And she sent out an email and said, was anybody interested? She just listed a couple or 3 books and asked if anyone wanted her whole list. So I emailed her back and said, yes, I'd like to see the whole list. And I got 6 pages of books that she has. I don't know if we're interested in any of these, but if anybody wants to see the list, I'll forward the email to you. One of the books she had was something about Boulder schools, 1860 to 1959. But I don't know if that was just the city of Boulder or Boulder County.
Boulder County.
It is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really, that'd be a good one for us to have.
Yeah, it would be, because that may list that one school that was down along Coal Creek.
Yeah.
Way back, I don't remember which direction that was anymore.
West.
Okay.
Eggleston.
Okay, that one caught my eye. I didn't even get through the whole list yet because it's quite long.
I should have said it was.
But if you want me to forward the list to you, I can forward it to everybody, I guess. That might be most efficient. Then you can see if there's any.
That's a good idea.
She indicated to me she had no prices, that it was kind of negotiable.
Another-
She's selling them, but I think the prices are, make an offer or something, I'm not
Yeah, I
sure.
think a lot of her research books, but it sounds like also some of the books that she's written.
Yes.
She wrote that Boulder County Schools book.
Yeah, she's written several books.
Um,
And some of the books we're familiar with that are in her collection there. Anyway, I will forward that on to
Yeah,
everybody and we
please do.
can see if we're interested. But I think maybe I'll speak up for that school book and see what she has
For
to
the
say.
museum.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what she has in mind for prices.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'll let you know.
She, what did they say the other night, Karen? 21 books or something like that she's written, and maybe 12 or 13 books in 21 years. She used to call and buy what paper and all that sort of thing on local history, so she's really a good historian. Any other new business? David?
Just the photograph you passed around, it doesn't actually have a year. It has a date, but not a year, so I just wondered if that, before it goes into the archive, whether that needs to be added.
It should be.
Was it 1936?
Yeah. I hope that's right, since I
I
was
thought
talking
it was
about it.
I was just looking at that last weekend.
Yeah.
Thought it was 38, but maybe not.
That's really-
Next time I run by there, I'll look.
You know, since I made a presentation on it, I should be able to remember it.
We have no expectations on memory.
I'll add, tried to walk to the cemetery the other day,
Oh,
and just to see what was going on with the rain and everything.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a mess.
It will be backfilled and.
The way to the cemetery is a mess.
It's just all, it's not, it's just construction mess and mud and everything else.
Tell you what else with that rain and the construction
Yeah.
starting up again, you see how close, how much of a shave off that was off that hillside.
That hasn't started to re-road on us, has it?
No,
Not that I know of.
no, and it's gonna be backfilled and,
Yeah, but I don't think they can right now.
Oh, no.
Because
no.
they'll just sink
Yeah,
in
this weather's.
As soon as they put that crane out there, the rain started.
Yes.
Any other new business?
I see you got a lot of toys
Oh,
here.
thank you. These are those things from Darcy Sherman, and I been leaving here for her to pick up. Although I haven't told anybody behind the desk that's gonna happen. Got to re-looking at these. I don't know if that hobby horse and that tricep are worth keeping, or if she donate them, or if I just go ahead and give everything back. Thank her for sharing them. So, since we've got so many people here, or anything else for that matter.
Ambrose was word.
She just, on loan, right?
They remember how she brought them over for Christmas,
Yeah.
2013, so.
I think the hobby horse might be, it's different than if you could have a kid's display with.
I have no idea the age on that hobby horse, but it's old because it's wood.
Yeah.
It's wood.
I guess you could ask her if we want to do that, see if she would, like Larry said, donate it, and if she doesn't want to donate it, give it to us on a permanent loan or however you want to do it.
The little teddy bear thing is kind of unique too.
Yeah, that's neat.
Part of what happened was they were kind of covered up, these better things were kind of covered up with our minor display, I think, and so I got to look at it. It's kind of more interesting than I thought it was. Or, it's funny how you get used to things.
It's
They were
because
just
you're a
there.
grandfather now.
Oh.
You look at toys differently.
That's true. Maybe that's
It's
it.
true.
I'm also a kid at heart. David?
So I think some of these toys, although they're not in the best condition, I mean, there may possibly be the standard that maybe the coal miners' children would possibly have if they'd be like second hand or
Yeah.
something that would be appropriate to the, it's not like we have a mansion.
Not something pristine, huh?
So,
Actually,
so coal miner's home would be appropriate for coal miner's home.
once we look into the hobby horse. Question?
Yeah, you could, ask her.
You young people now, do they still make the,
Tops.
They're plastic.
yeah, the,
The
is that
they're
still
plastic.
available in the stores?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, right, the plastic.
That was
They're
one of our
plastic.
big
Those were
plays,
neat.
you
I
know.
like those.
Yeah, yeah. Tops, you know, we played a lot with those. I didn't know they were still available or not for the kids.
Their truck looks like my old truck.
Yeah.
I'm using it. Huh?
As a kid or now?
No, I have it now. Actually, my grandson just got it.
Well, okay, I think I'll ask her if she might donate to the hobby horse, and maybe a little bear, and otherwise I'll leave her for pickup.
Yeah.
And I can't remember exactly the way she worded it. I don't know if she's willing to donate or just make it a permanent loan, but long-term loan would be fine too. Okay. I'm accepting a motion to.
Adjourn, so moved.
All adjourn, motion.
I'll second it.
Okay. Is there anybody opposed to adjourning?
Yes, right, wow.
Thanks again very much for all that you do, everybody.
Good work, man.
But
Tired too, huh?
Yes.
with the weather, it's kind of hard because all of our equipment is right now, so. Yeah.
If you want.
Bear's cool.
Snowdrift,
I'll send you
Oh, yep.
This school is called Snowdrift.
Mary,
Yeah, I worked for that.
could you put Troy the details about
2 more weeks.
that?
We went to, this year and last year, where they started them a week later, and they get out, they go back after Memorial Day for 4 days. Yeah. Whereas they used to finish on Friday. You need to, if you're gonna do that, you gotta go to after Labor Day.
So I think I'll start
We've got 2 more weeks.
working on this.
Some schools are out of it.
I know your colleges, are out, like this week is their final, or next week, yeah. So, I know.
Why make it so hard?
I know, but we're going back this year to the old schedule. Yeah.
Go out of town? When you get back?
That's a question.
All my.
Does he have
Because the last week.
anybody that we might know?
It's the same.
We have a catalog of.
She is, she'll do,
Also,
she'll do
my
flyers in the morning.
library,
She goes from there to,
they were doing
Camp Lake Shore.
fire.
And then she'll have,
They have
we're trying to get her into tennis 2 days a week.
The Mile High, what do they call it, fire apparatus?
And then Camp Estes.
Well, then, do I
And then
need
she'll do,
Oh, okay,
I don't think she.
yes, when I
we get the summer slip anyways, we gotta make sure it's not too bad and just carries into next year. So she'll be working on it. So she's good till about 4 to 5. Yeah, so we're good.
Oh, I do. Here and there, actually, quite a bit. I was just in Missouri. About rain, because there was so we kind of just look at it. Even during the time of hours, the bride was saying, oh, it doesn't rain. The minister had to call her attention. But other than that, it's fine. I'll be going to see my family in Nebraska.
President
real have good time, yeah. We're back for about 2 months, but swim season starts.
Yeah, how nice, I heard the kids were yelling away early.
So, I'll be her second song. I did I'm doing half a month every month. Because I turned 50 at the end of the year. So I'm doing that to make a party out of it. This last weekend, so I took 7.5 minutes off my best workout time was within a minute of that, so I may have to just start my times and merge the two. To be great. Because I'm at the 2.5 year mark. Surgery. We are literally, they did surgery the end of October. So I mean, I just passed that end of March.
Do you even see the doctors anymore?
No. I go through phases where they last, it's like, they're trying me better the last 2 days, but it's okay during the day. I mean, it doesn't hurt anymore if you move.
But I'll get with Bob.
And if it ever really lasts more than a few days, I would probably go do something. You know, and if it gets more, you got to do it. With all sickness, they just said it, they have me nurse and butterfly the nurse during the surgery. And they said, where you're at about a year after the surgery is pretty much what you get. I don't know if it's weather change or
The exercise camp.
No, they actually have, I've been of 2 studies and different things, so I've seen that.
Really?
One on injury and repair and one on recovery, sustained recovery. Just because I was active. So yeah, they didn't interview or study me, they just used it as here is a case in point of what you can do. The level 5 of this is about 4 to 5 millimeters, and I was 8. So I mean, I was the worst case going in, and then the best case on recovery. So yeah, so it's just one of those. So it's all nameless, but I know that X-ray picture.
You know, I got thinking after our last conversation,
my foot.
if Katie sees.
It's all good. It's all good.
Great. David will be as involved with it.
No, I saw you send me. It'll look like my signature.
So, you know.
Katie,
So how much bigger are the
Because they're 100%.
she's going to have a baby, so she would miss about 6 weeks if she got appointed.
I don't see it, so. Yeah, okay.
Oh my gosh.
But if he's interested, I'd like to see it.
Okay, yes, because he is, and he's, well, he's a while.
So you're,
Yeah.
Get my
Well,
support.
then Katie could become along as a volunteer.
And, you know, she really needs to,
Dad had a charitable.
I think when I did it, she got
He
into
gets in the shower, so you want to
some of the meetings and knowing people and stuff.
But, which is what all the rest of the short.
But if she's the only applicant, she'll get
I
it.
had kitties go into the dishwasher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all these sticking.
Okay, thanks, Joe. If David appears and he hasn't found anyone to give it to, just leave it out front.
the other ones get
Okay.
They are so,
They are just, they are.
I was reading about rag dolls at the vet the other day when Lexi got,
She got into
no,
He said if she gets out, he gets that.
Oh, he does.
He gets into.
he knows, because he gets out on the deck, but he doesn't get off the deck now, which is very good. But he had 2 claws that were growing into the pad.
Yeah.
So while she was taking those out, I was glancing at her chart, reading about rag dolls. They didn't talk about the size of them.
Getting ready.
I'm just amazed. They're so
14 to 20 pounds is the normal range.
14 to 20 pounds.
You know, I'm guessing he'll be the 14 to 16 and Sven's gonna be 18 or 20.
I love that tape.
We might be able to find all that. We might be able to find all that
So
stuff.
my two, at 1 o'clock in the morning, night before last, decided they were going to play. They were running full speed everywhere in the house. And I said to Wally, did they wake you up? No, he doesn't wake up.
I made it come in a mess.
Well, no, they paid $600.
Luxie was in the bathroom, and let out the loudest meow
See, now,
I've
there's,
ever heard,
they're
calling the other way. Oh,
I don't know what that was.
Taxable value.
they pretty well covered that chair. Oh my gosh. Little face.
Yeah. He's got the kitten face, I don't think he's ever gonna outgrow it.
Oh, that's deep. Yeah. Oh my God.
I'm like, I need to sit down and work now.
You guys have.
Oh, I think both of them.
We're all cat lovers, and I got these two little kittens. Well, it was last fall.
Yeah.
But we've been tracking
That guy's
them.
over.
Well, yeah, we've been tracking. They were born in July, so they've been tracking them the whole time.
Well, yeah.
'Cause we got the
Your daughter told me
pictures.
about them when we were sitting there at 4th of July.
Yeah, and then they were born 2 weeks later, and we chose them a couple weeks after that. Yeah, yeah. We got to go see them.
Maureen and I are gonna visit the babies.
Take care of the mess.
Nice to see you, Jill.
Oh, okay.
See you next month. I won't be here. Swim season starts, so I won't be here on Saturdays.
Yeah, I won't be here.
Okay.
Coming Saturday.
So I'll see you in June, in the next meeting.
Okay,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, they, for brownies.
Oh, okay.
Their rep said they're working on Tuesday night.
Well, I don't, you may not have been sitting in here, but, we just got approval from Tom
Which
this
ones
year.
take up your credit card, your security code, and your name and your expiration date, put them on some scratch paper so you can print something like.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
I don't think so, exactly.
Yeah.
But now I wanna make sure the
What's
order's.
that?
Trying to buy
Yeah.
thinking a lot of
Yeah,
Subways do
so I
breakfast.
got one of these estimates.
Oh.
They don't, so I'm gonna go back now in the middle of their lunch crowd, do that, do my errands, and come back.
Oh,
Or they
okay.
made them for me and I just pick it up.
Because Joe
That's what I'm
said
hoping
this,
for.
Ah, okay.
And we are dependent on it, it's like, I couldn't get it in,
But,
so.
and part of that.
Yeah, well, I heard everybody had a we didn't have any
Ours was
problems,
fine.
So,
but we weren't home too much
Yeah,
yesterday either.
but everyone I was talking to, it's like, so we're on Topaz, Marble is the street halfway between us
Oh.
and the